Hi friends, this is Kani. I bought this jewelry box from a lady for $20. It was very clean. And as always, I keep forgetting to record, because all my projects is, it's just kind of, I start them in a moment and I don't think about videos. I put 2 coats of bonding emboss on them by Dixie Belle. I always do my jewelry boxes with a couple coats of bonding emboss because their surface is always so shiny. On the sides of the drawers and the sides of the jewelry box, I used Divine Lavender by Fusion. And on the front of the drawers and the rest of the armoire, I use Stenciling Fusion as well. They're all in one paint. They have the primer and the sealant. I start taping the sides for the stripes that I want to do. But before I do that, I'm going to do the stenciling on the side of the drawers. I got this little stencil, I believe it was Amazon, but I have it now for a couple years. I really can't remember. It's no name brand. And I'm going to use gilding wax in silver. I want to make, because they're so tiny, I want to make it shine. I'm using this stenciling brush, but it's kind of very flimsy. I wanted something a little more stiffer, so I changed brushes here. Yeah, I have a bad habit not to think about making videos. And I remember after I start the project. I hope I become a little bit better at this. So I keep going. You have to match, of course, the ends so you can continue that pattern. And now I'm finishing up the other side of the taping. I use my spatula to make sure the corner is pretty tight there and the paint is not going to leak under. And I'm making them like the, 1.5 inch or so wide. And make sure you press the tape down pretty well so the paint doesn't go under. In my case, I'm not using a paint. I'm going to use a glaze. In the color pearlescent. It's a pearlescent paint, actually. I'm going to paint it on and wipe it off right away. It's going to leave a nice shine. And after I take the tape off, you're going to see it looks like it looks like 2 different colors kind of thing. It's going to look like tone on tone color. That I use tone on tone kind of different colors, I guess. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. And of course you have to take out the tape while the paint is still wet, otherwise you are getting a chance for, if it dries, to make the paint chip. So every second one I'm wiping off the pearlescent paint, but the shine still remains. The first time I used it, I painted over and it was not, I did 2 coats, and I'm pulling now the tape, and as you can see, it looks like you have 2 different tones of paint there. And of course you cannot tighten up a little bit if you have anything under or more material stuck in the groove there between the tape and the paint. I love the effect that it gives. I personally would leave it there, but because I'm going to sell the item, I put polyacrylic on top, and it made it a little bit darker, as you're going to see later. But most people abuse their furniture, so I wanted to make sure it's going to survive for a little bit. It's going to take a little bit of abuse. So I'm using this silver metallic paint for the trim and the top of the drawers. And now I'm casting some resin. I want to put that at the very bottom drawer. It's pretty plain, so I want to give it a little more, give some intricate details there. So this casting resin, amazing casting resin, it comes with 2 bottles and the 2 cups. And I always mark my tops, because if you change them and put the A on the B, you won't be able to open it again. It fuses, the material fuses together. That chemical reaction, I guess, make it fuse together. So don't ask me how I know that. I did it before, so from now on I write always the corresponding letter to the corresponding bottle cap. So you measure equal parts of each one, and you mix them together until you see it. It's going to go cloudy and it's going to start getting clear again. When it gets clear, I will start pouring. Some people mix it until it gets warm, but I have found no difference. So once it gets clear, I pour. This is a very intricate mold, very tiny parts. So I poured most of it, and then I kind of wiped the excess. It's going to have a film in the end, but I don't mind because you're not going to be able to see it under the paint. Well, for the leftover material, I'm going to pour it in this mold so you all can see how the color changes. And of course you pull if you have a little bit of excess, you pull them off. But on this one, because it looks like a lace, is very, very fine, I'm not going to take the extra material off. It gives it more stability, and you won't be able to see it. It's very fine. It's a lovely little mold. I got this one from Timo, I believe. And I'm going to put my glue now all over. And since it's, like I said, so intricate, I'm going to put it on the wood. And I'm going to let it dry. And that's how it looks. It's going to be painted, of course, when dry. I'm using the Vigorous Violet, but it's designed with Prima. And I want to put that, I'm going to do like almost a wrap. I'm going to wrap it around the front and the sides. I'm going to start from the middle first. I cut very close or exact to the where the flowers begin, or the greenery. And I'm going to tape it. And I'm going to slice the transfer where every drawer starts with my X-Acto knife. And on the sides as well, because it has a little trim there that I need to preserve and the gap. And I'm going to do one drawer at a time. I always tape my transfers, if they're bigger ones, because I'm not that great and I don't want to make any mistake. I don't want them to slide and mess up my, my design there. As you can see, I press with that plastic tool that they come with every transfer. And, I pull the plastic off as the image transfers to the wood or to the armoire there. It takes a while. It's not difficult, but it takes a while. It took me a few hours to do this, and my back was killing me, so I didn't do the rest until the next morning. It sucks getting old. I have pretty bad back and neck. I have all kinds of slip discs and deteriorated discs and everything else. It comes with age or hard work. So kneeling down for that long is killing me. Yeah, this armoire is just, I started and then I put it away and then I started again, put it away, and that's what happens when I start too many projects, and the bigger projects, they just I put them in the back burner for later. So I keep going. It's kind of repetitive. I don't want to bore you too much. And now that's the next day, I'm doing the side of it. The one side doesn't have as many florals. And it was easy. I'm burnishing, of course, burnishing with my fingers and with a carrier sheet. But but I find my fingers work the best in most cases, because sometimes the carrier sheet can rip the transfer off if it's not stuck very well. So I always go over with my fingers first and make sure it's stuck well, and then I varnish with a plastic carrier, the carrier sheet. I'm trying to do the corner there before I let it lay on the side, before I let it stick on the side. Transfers are really good. They can go through curves and everything. They're very flexible, easy to do. It just takes time. And if you rub and you try to pull it and it pulls the transfer off, you just lay it back down, just rub it again, and you'll be just fine. Redesign transfers, they're always a little trickier than the IOD ones. They like the surface to be painted and sealed, and they don't come off the transfer sheet as easy as the IOD. That's my experience so far. This was easier. I would say the easiest one of the redesigns that I had. Now I put my hardware on, and I'm painting with, I put a little bit of gilding wax on the screws to match the hardware. I painted the hardware, I spray paint them with the silver paint, and I will highlight them on top with that silver metallic, so it can match the trim a little bit better, and give it a little more light on the high point of the metal. I started by casting these flowers on top, and then I didn't like them, so I sanded the whole thing, painted again, and I decided to go with just transfer. And I cut parts of the remaining transfers and I put them together, the remaining of that transfer. And I pieced them together. That's how I always do. I start with one idea and then, change. And if I don't like it, I change it again until I like it. So here I am, like 2 days later, doing this one. Because I had to sand the top and then fill the gaps and the grooves of, where I scraped, and paint again. But I have to say I should have done the transfer from the beginning. It's more impressive it matches a lot better and gives the wow factor. The casting that I did, it was pretty, but not for that, not for this piece. This piece has more serious look, I would say, more like a lady's armoire. The other one reminded me more of a child. And this is the finished product outside, of course. Then I had to do the area around the mirror. For that, I used paste to do erase stenciling. I got this stencil from Etsy. I will post links to everything I used in the description. That mirror was so kind of plain, and I wanted to do a casting of a trimming around it, but it didn't close right. So I did a couple small trimmings. It didn't close right because it was hitting on the high points of the, the area there. So I decided to do the erase stencil, and I really love the way it looks. Let me know what you guys think. Do you love it? Hate it? You would have done something different? Just give me your opinion in the comments below. This armoire sold 4 days after I took it to my booth. A young lady fell in love with it. It was her birthday and brought her mama the next day, and she told her that's what she needed for her birthday, so it sold really fast. I'm glad it's going to a good home. And this young lady is going to enjoy it for years to come. If you like it, give me a like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.